Welcome back on the mat. So we'll start in a nice upright seated position. Make sure that you're comfortable, pushing your sit bones into the mat, lifting in the sternum, shoulders back and down. Constantly remind yourself that the breath comes first, especially when we start with our core things on the mat. It's easy to let go of the breath, but it doesn't make it much easier. So let's lower down onto the floor. Pull knees into your chest, so you can actively pull knees closer towards your chest. Bring your arms out in front. Start to bring your forehead closer to your knees. Take a full inhale through your nose. Exhale with an open mouth. Feel that contraction. Now hold that as you keep breathing. We're feeling into the hamstrings. Use your inhale, straighten your right leg up to ceiling. If you can't straighten all the way, then it's perfectly fine, but you take it up as much as you can. Slowly start to lower the straight leg, get the heel close to the mat but not to touch. Pull your left knee in, and now get your right knee to join. Back in the starting position. Inhale, straighten your left leg. Exhale, lower your left leg. Get the heel close to the floor. Tuck the right elbow in, at least right knee in. And then bend your knee back to where you started. Get hands onto fists, thumbs over your index fingers. Turn the fists and start to work the arms back, slightly flexing in the wrists. Now exhale, come all the way down onto the floor, taking a quick breather. Should feel the core warming up nicely, especially if we maintain that activation that you got from the open mouth exhale. Now in this position, keep your feet firmly on the floor. Start to crunch up once again. Reach with your fingers, see if you can find your shins. If not, then you just reach forwards. If you can find shins, pull yourself a little bit higher. Take a full deep inhale. Exhale, open mouth. Now back to your ujjayi breathing. Let go of your shins. Same thing in this position. Instead of keeping the arms out in front, hands onto fists, reach back. Bring your arms forwards. Relax back down. You might just find that it's a deeper form of core activation, but now lift your feet, grip hold behind the backs of the knees. Rock up to a seated position. Position your hands behind your shoulders. So there's going to be a bit of space between the hips and the hands. Pull knees to chest and straighten your legs. Bringing knees in and straighten. You can keep moving. A bit of a dynamic core exercise. The breath can be deep and slow. You don't have to link the movements with the breath here. But you might find that a dynamic movement like this is not as intense as a static hold once we get the correct core activation. Keep your upper body relatively still. Keep moving. Two more. Last one. Bring your legs out in front. Sitting up tall in a Dandasana pose. Hands along the side body. Bring your chin down to chest. Keeping sternum up. Inhale, lifting your head, cross your legs, or get into downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your right leg. Take your right leg to the right side of the studio on exhale. Both arms straight. Inhale, take your leg up. Exhale, leg out to the side. Inhale, up. Exhale, knee to chest and place foot between hands. Bend your back knee. Get it close to the mat, but not to touch. Option of staying in this position, or inhale, take your arms up, palms to touch. Exhale, bring hands down, straighten your back leg, step back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale, left leg to the left side of the studio. Inhale, leg up. Exhale, leg to the left. Inhale, leg up. Exhale, knee to chest and place foot between hands. Bend your back knee. Close to mat. Option of staying on the hands, or inhale, arms up, palms to touch. Exhale, hands down, straighten back leg, step back, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. We're working on jumping feet between hands, but start off by walking the hands closer to the feet. And it's going to be a case where we've got the hands slightly in front of the feet. I'd say a foot distance or so in between hands and feet. You'll get your feet together, draw navel to spine, bend into your knees, reach forwards with the hands, shift weight onto hands, but get onto tippy toes, push out of shoulders, and then bring your feet forward slightly. So it's all about that subtle floating off the floor, placing feet down, lifting, placing down, instead of some form of a jump where there's no muscle connection or limited connection. Let's start at the back of the mat, bending into your knees, placing the arms out in front or hands onto toes, and let's go. Push out of shoulders, place your feet down. Reach forwards, pushing out of shoulders, placing feet down. All the way to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward bend. In breath, halfway lift. Now we'll use the same technique to float the feet back, but all the way to the back of the mat. So plant hands down. Exhale, take it back. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down and facing dog. From a down dog, we'll be getting into a side plank. Now, this is a very interesting dynamic. The hips will stay high. Pivot the feet. Start to take your arm up. Weight is on the left hand. You started on the opposite side, and you'll just switch after. Keep hips up. Exhale, bring your hand down and get back into that down dog shape. Shifting weight over onto the opposite side. Angle feet, arm up. Exhale, bring your hand down, hips into that down dog position as you angle feet. Now inhale, Lower hips into plank. Exhale, come all the way down onto the floor. As you relax down, get your feet together, knees together. Lock your legs, push your pelvis down. Start to float your legs off the mat. Once you get into that position, see if you can get the hands to not touch. One step further, reach to the back of the mat with your arms. Now we're holding this position for a while. A bit of a strengthening aspect or static hold to strengthen the body. Use your exhale to bring your hands below the shoulders, tuck your toes, and push back. As we get to an all fours position, tuck your toes, straighten your legs, downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your right leg. Exhale, position right foot between hands. Angle your back foot, bring your arms up into a warrior one. Use an exhale to straighten the front leg. Bring your hands down onto the floor. Pull the right hip back as you get length in the front hamstring. The more length you get in your back, the more effective the stretch will be for the hamstring. Start to get slight softness in the knee. Transfer weight over to the front leg as you come up, arms hanging down. Back foot can be flexed, toes pointing down. Bending into the grounding leg, slowly step the left foot back, bring your hands down. Step it back into plank and lower down chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale, position left foot in between hands. As you do so, pivot your back foot, bring your arms up. Warrior one. And then exhale, straighten the front leg, bring your fingers down to the floor, pull the left hip back, get length in your back, and exhale, move a little bit deeper. Slight softness in the straight leg. Start to shift weight onto left foot and make your way up. Arms hanging down. Back leg active, foot flexed. Parallel to the floor, or as much as you can. You'll bend into the grounding leg. Step the right foot back, bring hands down. Step it back into plank. Lower down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. On an exhale, we take it back to chaturanga. Inhale into plank. Exhale, down dog. And slowly start to bend the knees. And place your knees onto the mat. Now, as you get knees to the mat, we'll keep tops of the feet on the floor. You might just want to adjust your knees to get them directly below the hips. Tops of the feet will stay on the floor as you lift your knees off the mat. So just a slight gap between knees and the yoga mat. And shift a little bit of weight around from left to right. We'll aim to get into a short down dog with the tops of the feet staying on the floor. So lift your hips, stretching the ankles out as you work your chest back. And then finally rolling over the toes, getting into your down dog. Now bend into knees, look up. Inhale, position feet between hands, halfway lift. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, take arms to ceiling. Exhale, mountain pose. A little bit of detailed work for the back legs activation. So you're going to step the left foot forwards. The back foot is just going to step back casually. You can get onto the ball of the back foot. Now firstly, tilt your tailbone, so feel that you get length in the back. It's almost as if you get the skin to stretch at the low back. Now, as you keep that core engagement, get onto the tiptoes with the back foot, softness in the grounding leg. Tilt your hip in, so bring the hip sort of more to the left. Lock your back leg, draw the kneecap up. Now float the toes off the mat, push the base of the big toe away, feel the core, at least the calf activation. As you hold this position, you can place hands onto your waist and slowly take the leg further back, getting into a more detailed variation of Warrior 3. Hold this position. Feel the calves working. Feel the inner leg working because of the hip tilting down a bit. The quad working because of the kneecap drawing up. Hold this shape. And I'll slowly make your way back up, bringing the foot down. So you might find that the grounding leg works a little bit harder when we get better activation in the back leg. Right foot will be in front, casually stepping left foot back. You can be on the tiptoes, tilt the pelvis, bring the left hip forwards and bring it in slightly. Lock the back leg, draw the kneecap up. Now get the toes to not touch. Push the base of the big toe away. Hands can be on your waist. Feel that activation. And then slowly start to reach back with the leg, bringing your chest forwards more. And hold. Just maintain that activation. You can scan the body. Scan the calves. The kneecap drawing up. The hip tilting in slightly. Then use the inhale slowly, make your way up, stepping left foot next to the right. You can shake it out. You might find that the glutes got a nice workout. Step your feet and mat width apart. We're breaking the rules. Usually we get the feet hip distance, but exhale to a forward bend. Pistol grip the big toes. Inhale for halfway lift, get length in your back. Exhale. Pull yourself into a deeper forward bend. Crown of the head down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, place the hands onto mat and step it back into a downward facing dog. We'll be doing more let's say specialized activation. So you'll take your right leg up, exhale, place the right leg behind the hands, as if we want to do pigeon, but then walk your back knee to the back, carefully shift weight to the right. Pull the right leg in slightly, keep your hands on the floor, lift the entire left leg off the mat without leaning too much to the right. So see if you can lift it up, feel the activation along the side body, the glutes, and hold. Flex your back foot, lift in the chest. Maybe even get the hands to not touch. And bring it down. Keep the inner knee on the floor. Lift your foot up. And bring it back down. And we're going to take the back leg, slowly bring it forwards. Don't let it touch the floor, reaching out in front, and take it back. Bend the knee. Pretend to want to step it down or relax it down, but don't. Bring it back to the front. Straighten. Take it back. We'll do one more. Almost to touch. Take it to the front. Straighten the leg. Carefully take it back. This time around, place it down and get into your pigeon position. If the front leg's not entirely at 90, it's okay. Aim to go one step further by bending into the back leg. If you can, find your back foot with the right hand. If you grip hold of the foot with the right hand, you could consider to grip hold with the opposite hand as well, kicking back and holding this position. If you can't find the back foot, then it's perfectly fine. You simply then just lift the leg without holding onto the foot. Let go. Bring your hands down. Walk your back leg further back if you can. And let's slowly come down onto the forearms for pigeon pose. If you want to take your arms out in front, you're more than welcome to do so. Throughout the practice, the breath is consistent. You are spending time with yourself on the mat, gaining more and more body awareness as we move through different postures and activation. About 20 seconds. We'll get a similar training effect on the opposite side now, so you can come back up onto your hands, tuck your toes, straighten the back leg, lift the right leg, step it back. Now as you get into a down dog, take this time to walk it out, feeling into the right glute area. And we'll attempt the opposite side, so use inhale to raise your left leg. Exhale, place your left leg behind your hands. As you do so, walk the back knee back slightly just to get the groin closer and sit to the left. Now the back leg, pull it in to have it more or less at a 90-degree angle. We'll float the entire leg off the mat. Lift, stay in this position, don't pull the knee in towards your body too much. Maybe you can get the hands to not touch. Maybe you find that the one side's a bit more challenging than the other. Just hold. And you bring your knee down. As you do so, push the knee into the floor. Lift the foot. Keep the breath strong. Chest can stay up as much as possible. And then bring the foot down. Now it's going to be the same movement. We'll lift leg, take it out in front and take it back. So take the leg up, bring it forwards. Don't let it touch. Take it back. Still not getting the leg to touch. Bring it out in front. Take it back. Out in front. And then take it back. Place your leg down. Now make your way back up. Walking your back knee slightly further back. You have the option of staying here and simply bending knee, or bend the knee, find your ankle, take the opposite hand onto the ankle and kick back. So we're really stretching into the quad muscles here by kicking back, but there's also a sense of lifting in the chest and almost a bit of a stretch in the shoulders. And you'll let go of the back leg, bring your hands down, and as you do so, let's come down onto the forearms. Holding this position, our pigeon pose. If you want to take arms out in front, once again, you can do so. Breath is strong. Hips square. You're not opening the right hip to ceiling, but instead you're keeping it down towards the mat in order to get deeper into the left glute muscles. Another 30 seconds to go. You can make your way back up onto your hands, tuck your toes, straighten back leg, step it back, downward facing dog, and as usual, walking it out to feel into the left leg that we stretched out. Now bending into knees, look up, use the inhale to get into a seated position. As you do so, bring the legs out in front. So first the idea is going to be to get a bit of activation in the core by doing a lift, and then it's all going to be in the quads when we lift legs. Hands next to pelvis will make it easier to lift, but you won't lift high. Walking the hands closer to knees will allow you to lift higher, but it's going to be more intense on the core. Before we do the lift, think about rounding in the spine, sucking navel into spine, and really getting compression. We want the abdomen, the entire core section, to engage well as we do the lift. So decide where you want to place your hands, push them down, start to lift, point with the toes, keep breathing. Keep breathing. Exhale, slowly bring it down. Now we'll maintain this compression, so a bit of a forward bend with the spine being round. Fingers or palms can rest on the floor. Point with the toes. Take the right leg up and down. Just keep the legs straight and move. Giving the quad a bit of a workout. Keep breathing and keep moving. It's going to be natural for the body to want to lean back, stay in that compressed position, and bring the right heel down. Maybe readjust a little bit, see if you can compress more, and then start with the left leg. Almost there. And bring it down. Making your way back up, part your legs. So the wider you get the legs, the more difficult it's going to be to lift. So decide how ambitious you feel today. Instead of flexing like we usually do, point with the toes, get the left hand in front, right hand at the back, get length in your spine, lift your right leg off the floor. Just hold. Exhale, bring it down. Switch hands, lift your left leg. You might find the quad burning a bit, maybe even hip flexor area. And bring it down. Now stepping your feet onto the mat, pistol grip the big toes. Option of straightening legs all the way or simply keeping a leg bent. We'll do one at a time. Left leg stays bent. Take the right leg out to the side. If you can't straighten, then it's going to be slightly bent. But curl your toe away from your body as you make use of your fingers, your peace fingers, to pull in towards the body. Bend your knee. Take your left leg out. Maybe a bit of a balancing exercise. We will be getting to both legs now. So bending into the left knee, bring the feet together. Find your balance, engagement and core. Push away from the body. Taking the legs out to the sides. Chest up, gaze slightly up. For efficient muscle activation, let go of the big toes and keep your legs up. You can flex or point, but just keep your legs up, chest up, and then slowly start to lower. The minute your heels make contact with the floor, flex and come down into a bit of a forward bend. You don't have to go too deep. Our main focus of the class was most definitely not adductor muscles or hamstrings, but we did a few sun salutations and so on to at least get the hamstrings to lengthen. Using inhale to push back up. Bring your legs together. And now you're going to slowly relax back onto the mat. As you do so, step feet onto the floor. Straighten your legs onto the mat. Allow the feet to drop out to the sides. The hands to be relaxed on the floor. The backs of the hands, the fingers curling in naturally. With your eyes being closed, just stay in this corpse pose for as long as you like.